What is good, YouTube? Alexa J here, and welcome back to a brand new video. And once again, welcome to another challenge, the Challenge USA recap review, episode 6. Pretty much this episode, it was okay. The episode was decent. The challenge was decent. The elimination was confusing as hell. I was very confused by it, but I'll explain all of that later in this video. If you guys have been enjoying these videos, make sure you hit the subscribe button and you hit the bell icon so you'll never miss another one of my videos. We are currently, if I'm correct, we might be halfway through the game already. So for all we know, the final could be around the corner. So we'll just see what happens. And without further ado, excuse me, let's get to it. So as always, as every episode starts, the algorithm picks up the new teams with our first repeat team being Dominic and crap, why am I forgetting the person? Why am I forgetting the girl's name already? Dominic and Kayla. There you go. Was it Kayla? I can't remember. It was Dominic and someone else. Then other teams are Shannon and Derek, Desi and David, Enzo and Justine, Tyson and Kira. So pretty much all the teams have once again been reworked, but now we're at the point in the game where now teams are going to be they're going to be repeat teams, which is definitely going to be interesting to say the least once we get further down into the game, because now we're only down to 9 teams. There are only 9 teams left at this point in the game, and it's definitely going to be interesting. So now fast forward to the challenge. The challenge was called Containment, and pretty much what the teams had to do was one team at a time. The teams had to, this is pretty much a time trial challenge where a team at a time would have to jump into the water, swim to these ladders, and climb up the ladders to containers that are 25-ish feet in the air, and pretty much they would have to count these symbols that are on top of the container and inside the container, and then once they've fully counted them, they have to climb to the top of the container and swing onto a little platform that has a code that specifically is for them. When they get the code, they have to jump back into the water and swim back to the land for them to solve a math equation that is in that code, and they have to solve the math equation to get the code, and they pull down a lever for fireworks to mean that they're done. The fastest team to do this will gain $10,000 to their challenge bank accounts and will be safe from elimination. And in this challenge, it was really close between a lot of teams. Teams like Dominic and his partner, who else? Leo and Kayla, and a lot of other teams, Sarah and Ben. Only 2 teams had DQ'd, meaning did not finish, and that was disqualified, and that was Kira and Tyson, because Kira, she did not get a good swing and she fell into the water, and this whole episode Kira talks about how she's not been feeling well, so I don't know how that might negatively affect her in future challenges, but her and Tyson, they get DQ'd, and then the other team to get DQ'd were Enzo and Justine, and the reason why they got DQ'd was because Enzo, he pretty much froze when it came to swinging. So because he didn't swing, and because Enzo didn't really try the swing, both him and Justine, they lost the challenge, meaning they got DQ'd quicker, meaning they have to instantly go into elimination. But the winners of the challenge were David and Desi, allowing them to get $10,000 into their challenge accounts, making 8 people qualify for the final. And if you've not been keeping this track in your mind, don't worry, I got you. The current qualifiers for the final are Tyson, Angela, Justine, Cache, Desi, David, Kylan, and Alyssa. So the 8 of them, they have now qualified for the final. If I'm correct, the final will probably have an 8 to 10 people final. So the final's definitely getting closer, and it's definitely gonna be interesting. So during the deliberation, Desi and David, they asked Justine and Enzo if there's anyone specifically that they would like to go up against, and they say nothing. They just say they'll go with whoever David and Desi choose, and they won't really complain about it. And throughout the whole episode, we kind of see, after the challenge, we see that there are two teams that David and Desi are considering, and that's Tyson and Justine. Tyson and Kira, and Shannon and Derek. And so in the end, they choose Derek and Shannon to go into the elimination, which I was kind of sad about, because in a way I do kind of feel like Tyson needs to have some time in elimination, but who knows? Maybe he'll get a time in elimination later on this season. And pretty much this elimination was called Spelling Eve. It was pretty much a reverse spelling bee, where pretty much all four of the competitors, they had to spell a word backwards. So TJ would give them the word, and they would have to spell it backwards. So one of the words was goggles. So TJ said goggles, they would have to spell it backwards. And now here's where the elimination kind of confused me a little bit. There are around 120 tires, and my assumption was that the team that gets it wrong, the person that gets the word wrong, they will have, well, TJ kind of confirmed this already, but pretty much all four of them had to spell a word backwards, and if you get it wrong, you risk having your team get five extra tires added to your stack. And in the end, Justine and Enzo, they got 5 extra tires added to their stack, meaning that Justine and Enzo had to stack 60 tires in a new area, and Shannon and Derek had to stack 55. And pretty much, when I say that this elimination was so close, it was legit so close. But in the end, Enzo and Justine, they won the elimination, making Justine's second win of an elimination, and very much so redeeming Enzo for his failure in the challenge, and unfortunately sending Derek and Shannon home. And Shannon and Derek, they were winning. They had almost won. But the only reason why they didn't win was because they didn't strategize how they were going to stack it, which Enzo and Justine, they did learn how to stack it. So in the end, Derek and Shannon, they got sent home, and the episode ended with, once again, the algorithm running its course. And that was the end of this episode of the challenge. This was a very good episode. You could definitely feel the tension between Tyson and Sarah, because if you remember last week's episode, Tyson blindsided Sarah, which, if I'm correct, was the first genuine blindside, I think. If I'm not mistaken, y'all can comment down below. But yeah, so next week's challenge looks very interesting. The way that I put it in my mind was it kind of looked like one of those modes in Mario Kart where like you have to pop the balloons. That's how it kind of looks to me, but we'll see what happens. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this recap review for the Challenge USA episode 6. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure you smash that like button. It means so much. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Electro J, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye.